This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Today on CityCast Boise. Federal budget cuts are already hitting Idaho's outdoors hard, with ranger stations closing just as summer heats up. Meanwhile, Boise Pride's been caught up in a rumor mill after a canceled event sparked panic about the festival, so we've got the facts straight from the organizers. Plus, I'll be out and about this week from Pride celebrations to farmers markets. It's Friday, June 6th. I'm Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Happy Friday, everyone. It has been a bit of a wild week, and joining me to break it all down is our executive producer, Frankie Barnhill. Thanks for being here, Frankie.
Hey, Lindsay. Couldn't miss it. I had to be here to talk about what's gone on this week.
I was going to say, you're truly one of the most perfect guests for this week because we've had several discussions about forest services, recreation, and what's been going on and concerns about it. And now it seems like maybe we have some answers about what the DOGE cuts are going to look like for Idaho. And it's kind of bleak.
Yeah, we're getting some more clarity about what it actually will look like this summer when you want to go camping or hiking in a national forest in Idaho. If you're headed to McCall or Stanley and you want to go for a hike in a forest, you might not have access to, a ranger who can give you ideas on what you might run across on a certain trail or routes to go. Because, the Payette National Forest announced this week that they're going to be temporarily closing a number of ranger stations, specifically in McCall, New Meadows, and Weiser. And that's in addition to a couple weeks ago, the Sawtooth National Forest said something similar. They're also had to temporarily close until June 16th, and then they're going to be operating just 3 days a week in the Sawtooth. So a couple of our favorite places to recreate in Idaho, you might not have your friendly Forest Service ranger available to help you out.
Yeah, it sounds like as of now, only the Council Ranger District Office and the forest headquarters in McCall will be open.
Open all the time, like with normal hours. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So there will still be some things open, but not as much as there has been. And they did say that part of this was due to the deferred resignations, which were announced in February that you could resign and, they would defer it. And now we're seeing that is a factor playing out in how many rangers, how much staff will be in our forests.
Totally. Yeah. And, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which oversees the Forest Service, has been very cagey and is not telling local media or national media, for that matter, how many exact employees either were fired or, did this deferred retirement thing on Idaho forests. So that's where this press release of trying to read between the tea leaves of how many people they don't have this year that they had in previous years. And, ranger stations, you might be like, well, do I really need a ranger? Like there's apps, there's all these things I can do to prepare for my camping trip or my trail hiking. And that's true, but there's a lot of things that rangers do. They work with folks on permitting. Of course, they're giving information about forest conditions. They know the forest intimately. They know the forest more than anybody else. And side note, they also often lead search and rescue missions. So
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So
don't get yourself in trouble this year, for real.
No, I think that's the problem is it's one of those things where when everything is going well, when everything on your camping trip goes smoothly, when you are able to use the national forests and recreate, you don't think about all of the people working to make that happen for you that you never see. You don't think about the people who are keeping the campsites clear, making sure that people leave when they're supposed to leave,
making sure the
porta potties are clean, making sure if you suddenly lose your 6-year-old and you're really concerned about where they are, that they can get somebody to you really quickly. The problem is if all of these stations are closed, that is going to delay when somebody can get to your friend who might have fallen in a hike, when somebody can help you try to find your toddler who might have wandered off. If things are going well, people think, oh, this is just how it works. As soon as all the people who make it go smoothly leave, that's when suddenly there's going to be issues. And suddenly people will say, what? What is happening? I've been going to this campsite for years,
Right.
and it was always well maintained, and everyone left when they were supposed to, and we had access to the spot we reserved.
And this time of year, they're like clearing brush. They're doing so many things to make that you wouldn't see, as you're indicating, like the things that make that trail easy to access. That's usually going on around now with these rangers. And then, of course, looking ahead, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Lindsay, but I was looking at the National Interagency Fire Center's wildfire predictions this summer, and it's not looking great. Especially in July. July seems to be when things are going to probably start popping off in places like the Payette National Forest and the Sawtooth National Forest, lots of North Idaho, and then extending into August and September. And yeah, often we talk, on this show about how the term wildfire season is kind of meaningless now because the season's extending and weird things happen. Fires are popping off in May or June. And anyway, it looks like this could be a rough wildfire season. And rangers, besides, helping to clear brush and stuff like that on occasion, they're also there in case there is a fire. They're there to be kind of first alert, as well as to assist often in the wildfire fighting on their forest. So just one more note. That's not great. Had to share, though.
Yeah, no, we should definitely have this map in the show notes. It's kind of, thanks for sharing this doomsday map with us, Frankie.
Yeah, right.
It looks pretty bleak. And in other news about the U.S. Forest Service, it's no good news for the U.S. Forest Service right now. It's all bad. But Michael Boren has been tapped to potentially be the new leader of the U.S. Forest Service. And Michael Boren has a really special relationship with Idahoans, and we have a bit of history. So this was a unique pick by the Trump administration.
Yeah. So Michael Boren, you might be going, oh, I think I remember hearing this guy's name in the news. He's, a co-founder of Clearwater Analytics, number one. That's something that he was involved in and started and, became a multimillionaire in part because of it. But you also might remember him because of a few years ago, him having conflicts with the Forest Service, specifically on the Sawtooth National Forest, where his ranch is located. And, specifically, he's been accused of things like flying his helicopter really close to a Forest Service crew that was working on a trail. That was one controversy. He also got kind of, reprimanded from the Forest Service and critiqued by his neighbors around that area, around Stanley, when he built an airstrip, a private airstrip, on National Recreation Area land, so the Sawtooth National Recreation Area. So he's kind of an infamous guy in the world of public lands. And, he has his reasoning, and he says that the airstrip was really a pasture on his ranch. And now, the Trump administration, it looks like he's probably going to lead the Forest Service. His first hearing this week, he sailed through it. So we'll see what the full Senate does, but probably going to be the Forest Service head.
I thought his answer, Senator Amy Klobuchar asked him how he's going to manage the agency as thousands of employees have resigned or been fired. It's really unclear how many and where and what is being funded and where staff is. And he said that it's not an ideal situation, but he's run understaffed businesses before. And that's always, anytime anyone says they want the government run like a business or the government should be run like a business, so many red flags. Communist parade of red flags for me, because that's not how it works. That's not how it's supposed to run. And that's not how it runs efficiently. So that makes me more concerned about what this could potentially look like, because there are things, you put money into a business, you're supposed to, get your bottom line. There's things with the government where we're putting money into it, and what we're getting is not everybody's house is burning down. And so I am concerned about what will they say, like, we don't need to pay for that. That's not going to be a problem now. And then in fire season or the next fire season or 5 years, now we have some major problems because things were not kept up.
Yeah. And I'm really glad you pointed out that forward thinking thing, because it's not just about this season. It's about seasons from now. It's 20 years out. What is the fire condition going to be? What is the state of our national forest going to look like? And I liked our pal Jimmy Dawson at Boise State Public Radio and his write-up of the hearing this week. He noted that only 5 of the 23 members of the Senate committee attended the hearing. So that's kind of disappointing to hear. And yep, we'll see what happens at the full Senate, but it looks like he probably will be the chief of the Forest Service. He won't be the first person from Idaho to be appointed to a Republican administration that has a lot of control over public lands, of course, as well.
Hey Boise, it's Lindsay. Let's keep it real. If you've got something great to offer, like a business or an event, you should be advertising with us. People in Boise trust us to tell them what's good, and that could be you. Our listeners care about what's happening, and they love a good local recommendation. So if you want to make sure the best audience in town knows about you, then advertise on CityCast Boise. Learn more by emailing us at ads@citycast.fm. That's ads@citycast.fm.
Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel? Or that white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
Okay, Lindsay, and now I need to ask you about a story that you've been following really closely this week. Of course, it is Pride Month, but as we know, Boise Pride doesn't happen until September usually. But there was supposed to be some kind of kickoff event that ended up getting canceled. But what's the story here? What happened, and what? It seems like people are confused about what's going on.
Yes, the rumor mill is going full steam on this story is what I found. And yeah, so Boise Pride was going to have a new kickoff event in June, because Boise Pride is typically in September, and this year it's going to be September 6th through the 7th. And so they wanted to have something in June, though, a kickoff, a fundraiser. And so they planned this event at the Knitting Factory with various performances, having, a local favorite drag queen MC. It was, it looked really fun. And I even posted about it on my socials. I was excited about it. And it seems like the ticket sales just weren't quite where they wanted to be. They just didn't get enough support in time for it to make sense. And so they canceled the event and made an announcement like, hey, thanks everyone who purchased tickets. We're going to refund them, and we're just going to focus on our Pride events and our lineup for September. And Idaho News did a story with the headline, Boise Pride Season Kickoff Canceled Due to Low Attendance. And it seems like that phrasing, I think specifically probably low attendance, triggered some people who were maybe excited at the idea or the prospect of people not attending Pride events. So places like the Christian Post picked it up, and it seems to have kind of grown legs of its own, that people weren't attending Boise Pride events, or Boise Pride events were canceled. And I had so many messages. I had people reaching out to me, truly more than a dozen, sending me messages. Is Boise Pride canceled? Is Pride canceled? Are we not doing Pride? I had somebody stop me in person and say like, hey, is Pride canceled? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what? And they explained, I was like, no, it was just, there was one kickoff event that they were going to use as a fundraiser. They canceled it. So it seems like it's just gotten legs of its own, because I haven't had anybody ask like, oh, did they just cancel this one event? I've had people ask me, have they canceled the Pride Parade? Have they canceled Pride?
Wow.
Is the city not letting them do Pride? And so I reached out to Boise's Pride specifically, and I was like, hey, I believe it was just an event, and the initial news story was that it was just an event, but this seems to have gotten legs of its own. And so is there any statement you have about this? Anything that we can tell our audience? Because I think people are really concerned.
Yeah, and confused, and maybe that confusion is, as you said, some people are happy that people are confused and don't know what's going on because they don't really want Pride to happen in the first place.
Yeah, and I think especially this year with everything that happened with the Idaho legislature, I think people are just concerned because I don't want to, make anybody feel bad for being concerned about the fact that a Pride event might not be happening or being concerned about Boise Pride. I just think there's a lot of misinformation swirling about this. And so I wanted to reach out to them and clear things up. So I reached out to the executive director of Pride, Donald Williamson, and he sent a little message to me. And he said, quote, "Dear community, we want to clarify that the Boise Pride Festival and Parade are not canceled and are alive and well this year. We did attempt to introduce a new event for June this year, but due to insufficient pre-ticket sales, we had to make the responsible decision to cancel that particular event. Rest assured, our main festival and parade will continue as planned, and we are excited to bring you an incredible celebration of our community very soon. Thank you for your understanding and continued support. With Pride, Donald Williamson." So he sent a little message to me, something to read out to the audience and let them know it's still on. The event is still on. The main event of Pride,
the 2-day festival in September. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just this one event. And I also got an official statement from Boise Pride that again reiterated the 36th annual Boise Pride Festival and Parade is happening this September 6th through 7th, 2025. As always, the event remains free, open to all, and rooted in visibility, celebration, and community. So we have officially from Boise Pride, officially from the executive director, one kickoff event was canceled. Everything else is still on. Pride in Boise is still on. It will still happen in September as planned. It was just one event that was canceled. And it just seems that maybe rumors or fears surrounding this, potentially perpetuated by people who are not in favor of Pride, really gained some legs. And so I wanted to really counter that.
Yeah, it's good to say that right at the top, that it's still happening to make sure that people understand. So this kickoff event, I saw that it was ticketed. As you mentioned, it was going to cost like $40, I think, for most general admission tickets.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Okay. And I saw some people commenting like, it's just too expensive. So perhaps cost, everybody's trying to hold on to their dollars right now with questions of what's going to happen in the economy. So I wonder if, maybe that played a role in just not having great attendance, and that, people are just so have become used to Boise Pride happening in September that maybe that just didn't resonate. Who knows why?
Oh, and I was going to say, I think maybe people were focused on, Latinx Pride was happening that weekend.
Yep.
And, Canyon County Pride is coming up. So I wonder if people were just not focused. I know when I shared it on my social media, the algorithm was not having it. And I heard that from other people too. And so I wonder if it was just really difficult to get the word out. It sounded like some people didn't know about it. It sounds like, it maybe I wish we could have gotten more reach with that. It sounds like maybe people were focused on other Pride events for other prides happening.
Yeah.
And it just seems like it didn't align how they wanted, and they didn't want to spend money on something that wasn't going to, help draw in money for the main Pride event in September.
Yeah. And you also got an official statement from the folks at Boise Pride. And one of the things in there that was interesting to me was that they say explicitly, corporate funding is down, and the financial gap it leaves behind impacts everything from accessibility and safety to entertainment and infrastructure. Kind of, indicating, that ticketed kickoff event that got canceled, the money that was earned from that was going to go forward into fundraising for the September event. So I think that was an interesting note, that they're trying to, find other ways to bring in revenue when we've seen, of course, nationally, corporations pulling back from Pride, and that's happening in Boise too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really important to note, I guess, and everyone's going to feel differently about this and can feel differently about this. I'm glad that they made that decision to, potentially say, okay, we're going to not do this event. We're going to save money because it looks like we might not be getting other funding from other sources. And we really want to make sure that we can throw a pride and have a pride event that really benefits the community to the best of their ability. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that, if you're on a board for something like Pride, these are the tricky decisions that you have to make. And so it seems like it's led to confusion, but I'm hoping we can get some clarity out there, get people, it's June, it's Pride Month, and, keep people focused on the prides that are happening and let everyone know that, yes, Boise Pride is still happening. It's nothing has changed. It was just one event that isn't going to be happening.
Yeah. And I have to add one more thing that is happening again this year, unfortunately. Did you see that the Harrison Boulevard pride flags have been vandalized again?
Yeah, Frankie, is there a reason we can't get cameras on there? Is this, how many years does this have to happen before we can get some cameras going?
Yeah, because the city owns the flagpoles, as I understand. ACHC owns the boulevard. This just keeps happening. And of course, we've talked a lot in the past month or so about the pride flag as a symbol and the power it has in Boise or doesn't have, or how people feel about it. And just one more time that these flags got vandalized, I guess.
Yeah, maybe somebody can figure out a way that. Can we crowdsource? Can somebody fundraise and donate? Those cameras aren't that expensive anymore. I feel like there's a way we can get them.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Support comes from ServiceNow. We're for people doing the creative work they actually want to do. That's why this ad was written and read by a real person and not AI. You know what people don't want to do? Boring, busy work. Now with AI agents built into the ServiceNow platform, you can automate millions of repetitive tasks in every corner of your business, IT, HR, and more, so your people can focus on the work that they want to do. That's putting AI agents to work for people. It's your turn. Visit servicenow.com.
Okay, Frankie, this topic perfectly segues into my pick of the week, so I hope you don't mind if I go first.
Go for it.
My pick of the week is Canyon County Pride. And that is happening this Sunday, June 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Lakeview Park in Nampa. And if you got a chance to listen to our episode about it, it's featuring new things. It's bigger and better than ever. It sounds like it's going to be great. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be speaking at 3 p.m. The only issue I have with the lineup, though, Frankie, is I have to follow Joshua Amara. Have you gotten a chance to see Joshua perform?
Oh, boy. I haven't, but is it incredible?
Oh, they are absolutely amazing. They kind of have a Lindsey Sterling. I don't mean to but kind of like that electronic violin thing.
Oh my gosh.
They are incredible. I'm very excited about that, but I'm not excited about having to follow them.
Lucky you, and also good luck, I guess. No, you'll do great. I'm so glad you're going to that, and I can't wait to hear how it is. And the conversation that you had with the executive director of Canyon County Pride, Tom Wheeler, was fascinating. So definitely, people should listen to that if they missed it. Okay, my pick. You're going to be in Canyon County and Nampa on Sunday. You're having a really busy June, Lindsay, because next Saturday, the Saturday after, so this is Saturday the 14th, mark your calendars, you're going to be at the Boise Farmers Market.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there chatting with people, chatting with vendors, customers. You're going to be hanging out. The rest of our team will be there with you. I think it's from 9 to 1, right? So there's a little window to come down and check out what's going on at the Boise Farmers Market on Saturday the 14th. Come say hi to Lindsay. I think, Lindsay, you're gonna be in your extrovert mode on the 14th.
We're also going to have some some totes, and I think we're reserving those for people who are subscribed to our Hey Boise newsletter. So if you're interested in, and it's a nice tote. I kind of wanted to take one for myself, so they're quite nice.
It is a nice tote bag. Yes.
And if you want one, you're going to have to prove to us that you're getting our newsletter. So come show up and show that you're subscribed to our newsletter, and we can probably get you a tote.
And honestly, why wouldn't you be subscribed to Hey Boise? It's incredible. Great events listed every day. The news that you need to know in a digestible way, and always some good facts and explainers from our newsletter editor, Blake Hunter. So yay! So okay, we've planned out people's Sunday for this weekend and their next Saturday. So
absolutely,
there we go.
Yeah, I would say it's a busy June for me, but maybe a fun and busy June for everyone else, get to hang out with the crew of CityCast.
Exactly.
That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. The show is produced by Evelyn Avitia, Frankie Barnhill, and me, Lindsay Van Allen. Blake Hunter writes our Hey Boise newsletter with help this week from Adrian Gonzalez, and our music is by Up Is the Down Is the and All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed our show today, leave us a review. It helps other people find us. We'll be back on Monday to talk with the West Ada student who risked his diploma to speak out. You won't want to miss it.